couple other rules about dog walking. The dog stays on one side or the other of you, right? So she wants to do this and cross over me because she's a sniffer. And when dogs are sniffers and they want to smell all the time, they do what's called coning. And they basically turn into a salmon and do this on a walk. That particularly bothers me. I think it's annoying. There's a couple other reasons to keep a dog on one side or the other, but it prevents the salmon stuff and it makes her a little less frantic, right? And it makes the obedience predictable, right? Because for her and most dogs, the dog wants to turn and face you on the sit. The sit should be in heel position, because like if you're on a walk or you're at a street corner or a dog's go whatever, like you want to sit from here. You don't want the dog. Oh, what are you doing? You don't want the dog to wiggle on the sit. You want, as soon as the words that come out, the dog's butt immediately starts going down. And she does do that little jump up thing that you guys talked about when you do put pressure on the leash. Try to just ignore it. So when I have my hand on the leash, it's, you know, I'm giving myself 3/4 of a foot. I'm gonna pull up slow, right? And it comes off when the compliance happens. Think of the manual manipulation as commands in and of themselves, right? So this is a command just as much as me vocalizing is a command. It's the same thing. So also, people get hung up with a dog being in front of you thing. There's two ways I handle that. I do a lot of that turning that I showed you, and I have sort of a stop and start method where sometimes on a walk, if I notice the dog is hanging out by the end of that leash up there, I will stop my feet abruptly, let them keep walking, and give a harder correction when they hit to the end of that leash, right? You make it very clear that the edge of that bubble can come up on them way faster than they think. And then the dog will gravitate in this ballpark area. You really want the dog gravitating here. The dog has a whole 6 feet bubble, but you want the dog gravitating here, right? And that's what happens, especially now on the turn. She really does, like, I don't have to do anything. She's just here. Also, the dog staying on the left or the right prevents them from going behind you, which is bad, and it prevents the between the legs thing. It just makes the walking experience smoother because everybody knows what to expect. Right? Isn't that right, girl? Isn't that right? Are you a good girl? Are you a good girl? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So for the sits, I haven't been using stay. But one thing you can do is, if you know a sit is gonna be longer, right? And this gets into the what you actually do in real life in public, right? When you're getting by a dog that's reactive, it is better to never break your stride and keep her attention off that dog and just keep walking, right? Than it is to slow your pace and meander on it. But say that you're in a situation where it is better to use the sit. If you know you're gonna move away from your dog, or your dog's gonna be there for a prolonged period of time, then use the stay, because you don't want the stay to be a necessary condition to keep your dog in the sit, and that's the problem people run into. But they go sit, and there's no definitive end to the command, and the dog just wanders out of the position whenever. Where in my case, keep the dog in the position until the break happens, right? And even when you do that, it's okay to use that stay if you know the dog's going to be there a while, because it gives the dog a little extra cue and kind of reminds them what they're doing. But I don't use it all the time. And then also, say I'm in a situation where there's like a person here or a dog here or whatever, if she's standing here like this, it feels safer to put her in the sit, but you're using up bullets in your chamber, right? You're using up commands and energy you didn't need to. Because if she's like this, then she's not doing anything that you don't want, right? I know you're using the sit to try to prevent it, but one thing you can do is if she does start to kind of just gravitate or wander towards that thing, but she's not actively, you know, pulling you or something, give a little pop, 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 right? We correct the dog away from the things that we don't want, as opposed to just giving the sit command. And this is something we'll drill that'll become more clear when you do it, but this is a little something to help you before we start doing that.